Just keep on trying new things, and once you try them, you like them, continue it. If you don't lose interest in that particular time period, I would say you've set up your foundation for your passion.
Welcome to the very first episode of TWS Talk with State Guys. And to kickstart this podcast, I've invited a dear friend of mine who is also a student, a social media DM manager, a YouTuber, and a self-proclaimed car guru, Raghav Gupta.
Thank you so much, Sidharth. I'm doing very well. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me on this podcast. First of all, congratulations on your first podcast. And I must say that this is going to be a really different experience for me as well, because it's my first podcast as well. So, it's going to be really different, and I'm definitely looking forward to what lies within it.
Absolutely, man. It will be great.
Yeah, I hope so.
Raghav, what's going on, man? Like, what's going on with your YouTube channel?
Alright, I started my channel by the name of Garage Reviews on 6th of May 2019. So it's been about 1.5 years since I started my channel. Since then, I would say I'm doing pretty great. For my personal opinion, I'm really proud of myself for that. I've got almost 2,500 subscribers during this time. I got the opportunity to drive so many different cars, because I had this love for cars which I wanted to, express to others as well. And during that time, I got to drive a lot of cars. Some cars that maybe I wouldn't have got the opportunity to drive if I hadn't got this channel. So similarly, I got the opportunity to be someone else's social media manager as well. So there's this page by the name of Mohit and Raja Car Deals. So I've been managing their Instagram, their YouTube, their Facebook account for them. And the reason why I did that was because, as you can say by the name, Mohit and Raja Car Deals, they have a lot of cars with them, and they deal with cars. So what I did was I was shooting videos for them as well, posting them on their social media, and then making those same videos in English for my channel.
Okay.
So what I do is say for example, I have any car like a BMW 7 Series. So I would make a video in Hindi for their channel, and I would make the same video in English for my channel. Okay. So it was like a win-win situation. I was getting paid for managing their social media, for making videos for their account, and at the same time I was getting cars for my own channel as well.
Okay.
So yeah, there are a lot of opportunities that I've got through this, and I got to drive an Audi R8, which was my first supercar. And if you ask any car person, how their reaction would be if they are given the keys to a supercar, they would, I definitely feel they would faint down to the ground. That was my actual reaction when I got the keys to an Audi R8. But I somehow collected myself together and drove that car. So that was a very surreal experience for me, I would say. So yeah, the channel is doing pretty great, and I hope it goes the same way.
Beautiful, man. So, from a YouTube channel, you didn't only got those cars to drive, but you increased your network as well.
Definitely, and not just networking as well. I shared a lot of my knowledge that I have about cars with all the viewers that are on my channel. The main USP of my channel is to give the most detailed reviews of any automobile I review. So I started with cars. I am moving into bikes now. So any car or bike I have reviewed on my channel now, in my personal opinion, I think it's very detailed. And that's the main USP of my channel. So I think that the knowledge that I have about cars right now, if I can share it with other people and make help them make the right decision on car buying or bike buying, that would be a really proud moment for me. So this is one of the mottos of Garage Review: make the right choice for the car that sits in your garage. So
nice.
Exactly. So if I am able to complete my motto, I think that'll be a really proud moment for me.
Yes, definitely, man. Definitely. So before diving, further in this podcast, what I want to talk to you about is how 2020 is going for you, because we see a lot of hate for 2020 on the internet.
Definitely.
Yes.
But for me personally, I would say that 2020 has been one of the best years of my life. You know, I mean, I definitely have my condolences for the people who have suffered from 2020, and that is the coronavirus. But I would say that on a personal level, it's been a really great year for me. Reason being that I have got some opportunities during this lockdown that maybe has taken me to some level that I maybe would have not been on. You know, for example, I got to not only review but launch the Mercedes GLS for Mercedes for them, you know. So Punjab Motors, which is a dealership in Mohali, they called me up and they said that they want me to launch their flagship SUV, that is the Mercedes GLS.
Wow.
And exactly, and for a person with only 1500 subscribers at the time, it's a big achievement, you know, because a company such as Mercedes calling you to not only review but launch their car for them, that's a big thing. And I would say it has really helped my channel, because during that lockdown period, none of the major YouTubers, they didn't get the opportunity to launch that car or review that car at that particular moment. They definitely did get those cars, but later on, after in the year. But when I posted my video, it was the only Indian spec GLS video on complete YouTube worldwide.
That's crazy, man.
That's actually crazy. Yes, I mean, because there were definitely a lot of GLS videos on YouTube, but as the GLS had already been in the global market, so that's why they were there. But according to India, the only Indian spec GLS, that was the only video on YouTube at the time. So that resulted in almost 53,000 views on my video.
Wow.
I know that for a lot of people, 53,000 views is not a big thing.
No,
you know,
man,
but
it is a big thing.
Exactly, but for me, with a person with only 2,500 subscribers, 53,000 views is a big thing, big thing, you know. And not even just talking about views, if I talk about the number of viewers that I got on my channel, you know, the amount of subscriptions that I got because of that video, that's also a big thing for me. You know, so that's why this is one opportunity that I got. Second is the Audi R8, as I told you. So if I hadn't been in this pandemic at that time, you know, maybe Mohit and Raja car deals would never have contacted me to make their own YouTube channel. So the reason that they gave me for why they wanted to start the channel is because they said that during this lockdown period, obviously sales were a little less, and so they wanted to promote their own cars. And as digitalization is like the biggest thing these days, so they wanted to make their own channel to showcase the cars that they have.
Yes.
So had this pandemic not been there, the sales wouldn't have gone down, and maybe they wouldn't have even started their channel at all. So I would say the opportunities that I have gotten during this 2020 pandemic has resulted in one of the best years of my life.
Yeah, wow. So, for me as well, you know, on a personal level, 2020 has also been the best year of my life.
I mean, you started your own podcast, so
yes,
that's a big thing.
Yes, I started my own podcast. I learned Photoshop. I learned how to edit videos on a Premiere Pro. So 2020 has been, you know, the best year, like till date.
I would say it comes down to perspective of every single person, you know. If you can always take this as an example of a glass half empty, glass half full kind of situation. So if for the people who think that 2020 is a glass half empty kind of situation, they would always think of it as the amount of people who have lost their lives during this 2020, the amount of natural disasters that have happened during this 2020 period. But for some people who have thought of this as a glass half full kind of situation, they would think of it the amount of free time that they have got, you know. Exactly. They've got so much free time with them. They could have learned something new. Like you said that you learned how to Photoshop and video edit during this time. I would say that I had got a lot of time for focusing on my own channel at that time. For some people, maybe learning a new skill. So if you focus on these things, that the amount of free time you had, or you know, on an environmental level as well, during that 21 days lockdown period, no cars were running. At that time, even some government organizations had said that the air quality level has drastically improved. So you know, thinking about these small things give things a very positive aspect. So if you think about everything in a positive aspect, I would say you can always find greatness in even the small things.
Wow, that's
so yeah, I mean, it's always about the perspective of a person. If you are focusing on the like the negatives of every situation, you would consider everything to be bad. But then if you are focusing on the positives of every situation, you can always do something good out of it.
Yeah, just like looking for the best in the worst of the situations.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
So Raghav, you have been in love with cars for a long time, right?
Yes, I would say I was interested in cars since the age of 6, and it's a very interesting story. It's been a long time. So I'd like to share this story. And what happened was, I was 6 years old and I was in London at the time. So we were waiting for a bus to go to Tesco. Tesco is like the big bazaar of London. Yeah, so we were waiting for the bus over there, and suddenly everyone heard this roar. So everyone on that street was now focusing at where that sound came from. So 10-15 seconds later, this car comes up and stops at a red light, and it was a green colored Lamborghini Gallardo.
Oh.
So at that time, I didn't know what Lamborghini was. I didn't know what car it was. For me, it was just an alien spaceship that looked really, really nice, very low to the ground, and was seemingly very loud.
Yeah.
So
At that time, when I was shopping in Tesco at the time, the only thing that was running around in my mind was how everyone was paying attention to that same car.
Oh.
That's the one thing that amused me a lot, that how that car was such an attention gainer. And I was thinking that we had a car over there, no one was looking at our car like that, but why that car? So it definitely looked really nice. So I went home and I searched for that car. And the three things that I put up in Google was green sports car. Because I didn't know what Lamborghini was. I didn't know what Gallardo was or Gallardo was. So I searched that, and pro tip, don't do that, because you will find millions and billions of different cars, but you would never find the car that you actually want to find. But finally I found it, and I clicked on that picture, and it redirected me to the Lamborghini website. So that's where I got to know what Lamborghini actually was. And from Lamborghini I got to know about Ferrari, I got to know about McLaren. So that was the one thing I would say that curated that interest in me for cars, and I started looking at cars every single day. And I did that. I gained a lot of knowledge about cars of those categories, and till the age of, I guess, 11, 12, I was continuously doing that.
Yes.
And at that age, I wondered that I've been looking into cars for like 4, 5, 6 years now. It's been a very long time, and seemingly I haven't lost interest in it.
Okay.
So when this happens, that for a long time you do one thing again and again and again for every single day, but you don't lose interest in it.
Yeah.
You could say that it's your passion or you love that thing. So that's where I would say that from the age of 11 or 12, I would say that's where my love or passion for cars started. But from the age of 6 to that age, I would say it was just an interest.
Okay, so like you would put as the interest for cars started at age of 6, but it really turned into your love or the passion of cars at the age of 10 or 11.
That's right. I would say, cars were my passion even at this age of 6, but I just didn't realize it at that time. The time that I realized it, it was actually 11 or 12.
Okay.
But it's been continuing till this day, and I'm pretty happy about it.
Yeah. So Raghav, you found your passion at age of 11, right? So what advice would you give to someone who's watching this podcast or listening to it on the platforms, so they can find their passion?
A very, very good question, Sidharth. A lot of people don't know what their actual passion is, and don't get disheartened, I would say, because finding your passion is actually really, really hard. I was one of those lucky ones who found it at a young age, but finding your passion is actually very hard. The only thing I would say to a person who's not yet found their passion is just keep trying new things, and at least try it for 1 week every single day.
Yeah.
If you don't lose interest in that particular thing
or you don't feel trapped,
or you don't feel trapped in that particular thing for that 1 week where you do it every single day, I would say you have started your foundation for finding your passion. And keep doing it. If you don't get bored in that initial week, do it for 2 weeks. Similarly, 3, 4, get it done for a month, 2 months. Once you keep getting on with that cycle and you definitely don't lose your interest in it, I would say you've actually found your passion. And don't worry, it does take time. A lot of people I know who are even 20, 25, 30 years of age haven't found their passion.
and there's nothing wrong with that. Like,
Actually nothing wrong with it. You just didn't explore the right place yet. You know, I would say just explore new things, and definitely you'll find your passion one day. And you know, there's no negative side to it. If you don't find your passion and you keep on trying new things, I would say you're just gaining experience of different things, right?
Definitely.
One day you'll definitely find your passion, but till the time you haven't, you've tried so many things in life that you actually feel accomplished.
Yes, because it's just like, how do you know that you like, for example, say surfing, if you haven't surfed before?
Exactly. I mean, yes, that's right. How do you know that you don't like to drive cars if you haven't drove yet?
Yeah, I mean,
Exactly. Just keep on trying new things, and once you try them, you like them, continue it. If you don't lose interest in that particular time period, I would say you've set up your foundation for your passion.
Yes, beautiful, man. Raghav, you call yourself the car guru, right?
Yeah, kind of. Okay.
Why is that? Like, when did it start?
Alright, okay, so I would say I started calling myself the car guru maybe at the age of 13, 14.
Oh.
But that wasn't the scenario if you really think about it now. But because that would be the definition of a car guru, is a person who can tell you about cars, who can give you an honest opinion on cars, based on some reasoning. You know, a car guru cannot be a person who is biased for a single brand. You know, for example, I am a Lamborghini fanboy. I can't just say, you know, if you come to me the next day saying that, Raghav, I have 5 crore rupees and I want to buy a car, which car should I buy? I can't just say, go ahead and buy the Lamborghini Aventador without asking what you actually need, and without telling you about what the competition of that car is. You know, maybe you're more interested in a Ferrari 812 Superfast, but I didn't listen to you, right? So that's not a car guru. A car guru would be a person who listens to the other person, listens to the requirements that the other person has, and then based on those makes a decision on what car he should suggest to other person. So yeah, I would say I called myself a car guru at the age of 13, 14 years, but that wasn't the scenario, because at that time I was a kid and I was biased to certain brands. You know, for example, someone wanted a sedan, I would always say go buy a BMW, but I didn't say which BMW, or I didn't give a reason for why I like BMW. You know, if someone asked me why, I would always say, yeah, it's a BMW. You know, so that's exactly.
What else do you need?
Exactly. So I didn't tell about the competition at that time. So I would say I became an actual car guru, in my opinion, and according to the opinions of what people call me. I would say I turned into a car guru at the age of like 16 or 17, because at that time I had a pretty deep knowledge on what cars actually were.
Yes.
You know, according to what the competition was offering. And based on that, I would give a decision to anyone else. You know, even on my own channel, I never say that based on the competition. Like, for example, I made a video on the Suzuki S-Cross. You know, I would never say buy this car instead of the Hyundai Creta, or buy a Hyundai Creta or instead of the S-Cross. I would always say this is what is available in an S-Cross. This is what is available in a Creta. Now it's upon you which car you should buy. I was always put in my personal opinion that I would go for the S-Cross based on this reason, but then I have told you what both the cars have to offer. The decision is definitely yours.
Wow.
So that's my story on why I would say I started calling myself a car guru. But definitely I was wrong before at the age of 13, 14 years, but then I would say I have become much better since then.
Okay, so I won't say that you were wrong. I would say you started visualizing yourself as a car guru at the age of 13, 14, and actually became a car guru at the age of 16 or 17, as you said.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. That is one of my visualizations, and that's why I would say I started calling myself that. Similarly, when I started Garage Reviews, you know, I had this visualization that I always wanted to make Garage Reviews a vlogging channel, automotive vlogging channel. But given the circumstances at that time, I didn't obviously have the amount of money to buy myself an own car and then start builds on that channel. You know, that's the kind of channel I wanted to create. But for me, the important purpose was, you know, just start and see what the future lies ahead. You know, so that's why I started with what I had. I started with the cars of my own relatives, of my own friends, and I started reviewing those cars. And once I had about 10-15 videos on my channel already, to tell other people that's what I do, I then started going to showrooms, to dealerships, to showing them this is the type of video I create. I want to start reviewing your cars as well. So once I have had about 70 to 75 different videos on my channel as of now,
Yeah.
I have now started going into vlogging as well, because now I think that I have that kind of an experience, I would say, with cars. I have had those kind of contacts now that would allow me to make vlogging with their own cars. Obviously I don't have the money right now even to buy my own car and start builds, but what I am doing
You
right
can't
now,
wait for another 2-3 years
Exactly,
just to
just-
start that.
exactly, like I started garage reviews, I can definitely start vlogging as well in the coming future. Like I have posted one vlog on my channel as of now, so that I would say I have started my foundation
Yes.
on starting vlogging.
Yeah.
But then definitely in the years to come, once I have the options, I have the opportunity, I would definitely start a vlogging channel as well.
Oh, so would you say that visualization had an impact on who you are now?
I would say not only me,
Yes.
but I would say everyone who has a goal, a visualization has a very big impact on it.
Oh,
And why I say that is because you can only make a goal based on your visualizations.
Okay.
For example, I have this goal to one day own my own Lamborghini. But I have visualized myself with a Lamborghini.
Okay.
That's why I have that goal. Why isn't my goal to own a Ferrari someday? Why isn't my goal to own a McLaren someday? Obviously, I want to own those cars, but my goal is to own a Lamborghini. Why? Because I visualize myself in a Lamborghini Huracan, which is my dream car.
Okay.
Similarly, like if I talk about the example of garage reviews once again, my visualization is to start a vlogging channel.
Oh.
So I started, but this is what my absolute goal is.
okay.
That's what I want to reach to. For example, you can only set a goal once you know what you actually want.
Yes.
So I would say once you start visualizing yourself in something, you can definitely achieve it someday. I visualize myself driving in my own Lamborghini someday. I know each and every detail of it. When I visualize myself, I dream myself to wake up one morning, freshen myself up, pick the key to my Lamborghini, go to my garage and open that blue Lamborghini Huracan Spider, open the doors to it, sit down in that beautiful interior where I want to
Wow.
see the steering wheel on the left side, because I want to live in US. So I visualize myself there because I want to see a white interior in my car with blue contrasted stitching, which would
Wow.
which would match my exterior of the car. And I want the because it will be a Spider, convertible in my case, I want that roof to be painted white later on, so that it could match with my interior. So
Wow. Wow.
the more the detail you have in your own visualization, the more closer you will get towards your goal. So for example, if I give you another example, I want my Lamborghini to be blue and I want a white interior in it, right? So for example, I someday want to buy my own car. I want to buy my Lamborghini.
Alright.
I would definitely choose a car with a white interior itself, because changing an interior is difficult. Changing the exterior is very simple.
Okay.
So I would choose a car with a white interior itself. Maybe I'm getting a green car with a white interior. I would prefer that car over a black car with a black interior.
Oh.
Because it would make my goal more achievable in the coming future. I could just get that car wrapped in blue and maybe I've got myself a car.
Yeah.
So I would say start visualizing your dreams from now, and the more detail in your dreams, the more detail in your visualization, that's how close you can get to your goal in the future.
Wow, man. Beautiful, man. Beautiful. So Raghav, I absolutely agree with the point that you made. That for example, if you have a goal of owning a mansion someday, like a big mansion, you need to know every single detail of it.
Exactly. You need to know every single inch of your house, how many rooms you want in your house, what type of flooring you want in your house,
Yes.
what type of walls do you want in your house.
What is the color of the carpet that is on your
Exactly. Do you want a lawn in front of your house? Do you want a garage in front of your house? Do you want your driveway to be long? Do you want your driveway to be very short? Do you want a bigger lawn in the back? Do you want a bigger lawn in the front? You need to listen to every single thought that you have
Yes.
in order to achieve that dream one.
That's how you know that you're the serious for it.
Exactly.
That's how you will work for
Exactly.
it, because
Exactly.
because you know every single little detail of that house that you want to own.
And like you said, you're about seriousness. I have a small little story, I would say once again. I had this crush on the Lamborghini Huracan as soon as it was launched.
Okay.
I was, I guess, how many? 14, 15 years at that time when the Lamborghini Huracan was launched. And since that day I have had that crush on that car, and since that day I would say whenever someone asks me what kind of a car do you want, my explanation on that car has never changed. It's always been blue, it's always been a convertible, it's always been a white interior, it's always been with blue stitching.
Wow.
Since that day, I think all my friends, my parents, my family have got to know that I'm actually serious for that car, because my dreams for it has never changed.
Yeah.
I have visualized that car to be that way, and it has stayed that same way till now.
Wow. Wow.
And to be very honest, I don't want it to change. I have had a major crush on a McLaren 720S as well. But still my visualization on that car has never been so strong that it has been for the Huracan.
Wow.
So if you are actually serious for something, your dreams would actually never change. Or if your dreams are changing, that one thing will always remain in that bigger dream of yours. For example, if I have a dream to own a 9-car garage, out of that 9 cars, I want one car to be that blue
Yes.
Huracan. So you see, my dream has expanded, but then
That one thing, it never changed.
it never changed, and my bigger dream still does consist of that smaller dream.
Wow.
So that's what I would say. Start getting serious for your goals. Start doing new things. Start gaining interest in new things.
Just
Find your
start.
passion, and actually just start. Don't wait for the right thing to happen, because never will it ever happen that everything goes according to you. When I started my channel, as I said, I wanted to be a vlogging channel, but it couldn't be a vlogging channel. But I started with the resources that I had. Similarly, right now I have a gimbal, I have an expensive tripod, I have a very good mic, I have my phone which I shoot with. But when I started, all I had was a tripod, a mic, and a Samsung digital camera. I didn't beg my parents to buy me a DSLR or buy me a great phone at the very same day or the first day when I wanted to start my channel.
Yes.
I started with what I had, and then as the future progressed, with the materials that I had, the resources that I had at that time, I upgraded my equipment.
Wow.
So even if you want to start your own YouTube channel, don't think of it as a way, you want to start when you have a DSLR, or you have a Rode mic with you, or you have I don't know, a very expensive Gorilla tripod with you. Just start with what you have, and definitely things will go your way, and you will eventually afford that equipment one day or the other.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Raghav, you've been doing this YouTube thing for about 1.5 years, right?
Yeah, 1.5 years.
So what would you say your top 5 learnings have been from that experience of for 1.5 year?
Right.
The first learning I would say is, once again, start building your network. That's what I've learned. First learning that has been for me is, the greater your network, the greater your reach can be. I never had an idea that one day I'd be reviewing a Rolls Royce on my channel.
Wow.
But given the network that I had, I contacted a few people, and they gave me the contact details to the Rolls Royce dealership in Delhi.
Okay.
So I reviewed that car. So I would say the biggest learning for me has been to expand your network. Second learning for me has been how the YouTube algorithm actually works. If I had no idea how the YouTube algorithm works and I was just uploading videos randomly,
Yeah.
maybe I would have still been under 1,000 subscribers.
Okay.
Still, I'm not saying that I've learned 100% of it.
Yes.
Maybe if I had learned
Still
a lot
learning.
of it,
Yes.
maybe I would have been at 10,000 subscribers as of now. But I haven't. But with the learnings that I have right now, I've reached 2,500 subscribers.
Yes.
So that would be my second learning. Third learning would be, never react based on your emotions.
Oh.
So why this is a great learning for me is, I won't name the specific organization, but what happened was I visited Delhi for that specific organization, and I had a word with them on call before I went to Delhi. You know, Delhi is like 300 kilometers away from my
Yeah,
house.
yeah.
So traveling that distance is a big thing for me, especially at this age. You know, so I called that person up and he said, definitely come and meet us and then we'll talk about it. You know, but when I reached that particular place, he outright said no, and he was lying about that fact that we ever had a conversation like that. You know, so that disheartened me. And what I could, if I had reacted on my emotions at that time, maybe I wouldn't have reviewed that Rolls Royce, because the reason why I reviewed that Rolls Royce was because that person had rejected me at that over there, and I was in Delhi for 1 whole week.
Oh.
So I thought that if I'm not getting work at that particular organization, I have to do something in that week, right? So I contacted different people and asked them if I could review their cars, and that's how I got to the Rolls Royce.
Wow.
You know, so if I had acted on my emotions at that time and, you know, posted Instagram stories, talked about it on my YouTube channel that this organization is the worst, they're liars or something like that, maybe it would have reflected bad on me as well. And maybe I wouldn't have reviewed that Rolls Royce, because I was just grunting on that fact that why didn't I get that particular car.
Yes.
So that would be the third thing for me. Fourth is that opportunities always come up. You know, when I see, for example, during this lockdown period, when the 21 days lockdown was there, what I thought was, how will I upload my videos? Because I have this one thing that I have to at least upload one video in 1 week. You know, I cannot exceed that 1 week without uploading a video. You know, so what I thought was 21 days, it's 3 weeks. How will I ever start, you know, uploading videos in that time? So what you know, when I had that free time with me, I thought about it, and an opportunity came out where I could start doing it, like I said, about the reviews that I did for Mohit and Raja car deals.
Oh.
You know, so opportunities would never cease on you. They would always open up. As people say, one door closes, another opens. So just wait for that other door to open. And when it does, don't let it go.
Oh.
So if you let it go, if I had let it go, you know, if I had said no to Mohit and Raja car deals, because essentially they were using my skills, my face value for making their own channel, right? If I had said no to it just after that one fact, maybe I wouldn't even have got the equipment that I have right now, because essentially they were paying me.
Yes.
And with that money, I could do a lot of stuff. So that's why never lose an opportunity. And the last learning I would say is of, you never stop learning new things.
Wow.
For me, I would say, for example, I'll tell you one thing. When I started this channel, I actually thought that I have a lot of knowledge about cars. I know a lot of things about cars, maybe that other people don't. And that's true, but up till some extent.
Okay.
You know, I never knew features in cars that are actually there. When I visit showrooms now to review cars, when I actually get that hands-on time with that car, that's when I learn so many new things about some cars that I never knew existed.
Wow.
You know, I have learnt about some cars that I didn't even know existed in India. You know, there is one remake of the first MG ever produced here in India. And that's a car of maybe, I don't know the specific year, don't take my word on it, that's maybe like 1930s or 40s. 1930s or 40s, such an ancient car is still in India. Not even in India, it's here in Tri-City where I live. You know, so
Wow.
it's so close to my house. I never knew it was there. And when I went there, I sat in that car, I got to know how cars have actually evolved.
Wow. That's crazy.
You know, you get to learn so many new things, but you just have to try it out. Once you get that opportunity, like I said, never lose an opportunity. So that's when I got the opportunity to just see that first MG ever produced. I didn't lose it. You know, I went there, I sat in that car, I saw it. I got to learn so many new things about that car.
Wow, man. Wow.
So that's what I would say. And this is like the most important learning. That's, you never stop learning. You know, even a PhD person gets to learn so many things, and not just from a person who has more degree than him, even from a kid. You know, a PhD person may learn new things from me.
Yes.
Not even from me, from a 10-year-old. But you never stop learning new things.
Yes. That's what you call a student mindset.
Exactly.
even if you think that you know a lot of stuff, there's always so much to learn beyond that point.
And you should be open to learn about it. That's what a student is, and that's what the student mindset would always be. And you should always have that one thing in you.
Wow, absolutely, man, absolutely. So that was it for the first episode of TWS. It was great having you, Raghav.
Thank you so much, Siddharth. Seriously, for me, like I said, it's the first podcast that I've ever been invited to. Really nice experience and really nice sharing my own stories with you guys. I hope that you guys didn't get bored from my stories, but definitely thank you for inviting me, and I really hope that your podcast shoots up.
Thank you, man.
The sky's the limit, man. Seriously, thank you.
Thank you, man. Thank you. That was it for the first episode of TWS. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you.